History remembers many conquerors: Julius Caesar, Napoleon, and of course Alexander the Great. These men rose to power through their unmatched military brilliance and sheer will. But there was something different about Alexander. He wasn't just another king on the throne. He was a force of nature, someone who would change the course of history and redefine the very concept of leadership. His legacy isn't just about the empire he built. It's about the mindset that drove him to achieve the impossible. This is Alexander the Great's blueprint for timeless success. At a time when empires were built through sheer numbers and brute force, Alexander the Great emerged as a force that transcended all conventional boundaries. As king of Macedonia, he took on the mighty Persian Empire, a superpower that had once terrorized the Greek world. With an army far smaller than his enemies, Alexander defied all expectations, securing a victory that seemed unattainable. His success wasn't rooted in superior numbers, but in his unparalleled strategic genius and relentless will. His victory against the Persian Empire wasn't just military. It was a statement. The impossible could be done. But even after this extraordinary triumph, Alexander's vision was far from complete. The Persian Empire lay at his feet, but Alexander looked beyond it, into the vast jungles of India. Despite extreme hardships, war elephants, and jungle warfare, he pressed on, spurred by the belief that the edge of the world was not the final frontier. It was merely a stepping stone. While his men begged him to turn back, Alexander pushed forward, driven by a singular, unstoppable vision, a world without boundaries. He knew that his soldiers were exhausted, that his army had already fought for years, but Alexander wasn't leading for himself. He was leading them toward a greater destiny. His speeches were not just to rally his troops, they were to reshape their perception of what was possible. He compared their achievements to those of the greatest heroes in history, Achilles, Hercules, reminding them that they too could achieve greatness if they dared to dream as he did. Alexander's ambition was limitless. Inspired by the greatest heroes of legend, his hunger for glory and power often led others to question his sanity. Some believed his relentless drive was his greatest flaw, an insatiable hunger that left him blind to the dangers of overreach. But for Alexander, there was no such thing as too much. Every battle, every conquest, was a step toward achieving something beyond human limits. And while the world may have seen him as a man bent on destruction, it was his mindset, his refusal to accept limits, that allowed him to achieve the impossible. Now, let's take a moment to talk about something that can help you develop a mindset like Alexander's. Just as Alexander was constantly learning, growing, and adapting, you can do the same with tools that foster personal growth. Platforms like Shortform offer inspiring summaries and actionable lessons from the world's most powerful books on motivation and success. These tools can help you adopt the very mindset that turned Alexander into the legend he became. Check out the link below for a special trial and access to insightful resources that will take your mindset to the next level. One of the defining moments of Alexander's reign came during his campaign across the Gadroisan Desert. It's considered one of the most brutal and unforgiving campaigns in history. The heat was unbearable, supplies were scarce, and soldiers began to fall ill and die. Yet Alexander led by example. When his scouts found a small spring of water, he didn't drink the water himself. Instead, he poured the entire helmet of water onto the desert sand, showing his men that he would endure the same hardships they faced. This moment wasn't just about self-sacrifice, it was about leadership. It was about showing that no one was above the struggle, that their collective effort was what would bring success. Alexander's leadership wasn't just about personal heroics, though. It was about the bond he shared with his soldiers. By suffering alongside them, he forged a loyalty that turned his army into an unstoppable force. His men didn't just follow orders, they followed him because they believed in his vision and his commitment to their shared goal. This bond was reinforced in battle. Alexander led from the front, not from behind a desk. He put himself in the heat of battle, charging forward, leading his men as one cohesive unit. His body was covered in scars from the many battles he fought, each mark a reminder that he didn't just give orders. He fought as hard as any soldier. His scars weren't a weakness. They were a symbol of his resilience, his connection to the men who fought alongside him. Alexander's confidence, much like his ambition, was unshakable. From a young age, he was told by his mother that he was the son of Zeus, destined for greatness. And so he believed it. His self-belief wasn't just arrogance, it was conviction. He knew that the world had yet to see what he was capable of, and he had no doubt that he would achieve it. This confidence was the bedrock of his success. It freed him from the paralyzing grip of self-doubt that holds so many others back. One of the earliest signs of Alexander's genius came when he was just a boy. His father, King Philip II, tried to tame a wild horse named Bucephalus, but none of the men could control it. Alexander, however, saw the problem. The horse was afraid of its own shadow. With incredible insight, Alexander rode the horse towards the sun, and Bucephalus obeyed him completely. This moment wasn't just about a boy taming a horse. It was about Alexander's ability to see the world differently, to find solutions when others gave up. Alexander's problem-solving mindset was further demonstrated at the Battle of Issus, where he faced a Persian army 6 times larger than his own. While his forces were surrounded, Alexander's cunning allowed him to find a way out of the direst of situations. His strategic brilliance wasn't just about numbers. It was about adapting to the environment, understanding the terrain, and, most importantly, thinking several steps ahead. It was this ability to think outside the box, combined with his unshakable confidence, that allowed Alexander to conquer seemingly impossible odds. Whether it was outsmarting larger armies or navigating through hostile territories, his ingenuity and leadership set him apart from others. Ultimately, Alexander's legacy isn't just about the battles he won or the territories he conquered. It's about the mindset that drove him to succeed where others would have faltered. His unwavering belief in his destiny, his relentless pursuit of greatness, and his deep connection to those he led are lessons that we can all learn from. The blueprint for Alexander's timeless success was simple: never accept limits. Lead with conviction. Believe in your destiny. And most importantly, always move forward no matter the obstacles. Alexander's mindset transformed the world, and it can transform your life as well. As we reflect on Alexander's journey, it becomes clear that his success wasn't just about conquering nations, it was about conquering himself. His mindset, unwavering and unstoppable, was the true key to his greatness. So, ask yourself, what's holding you back from achieving your own impossible dreams? If Alexander can change the world before the age of 30, imagine what you could accomplish with the same unrelenting drive and vision. It's time to take the first step toward your own legendary success. The world is waiting, and this is just the beginning. Alexander's legacy is more than just history, it's a call to action. His life challenges us to think bigger, act bolder, and push beyond the boundaries we place on ourselves. Whether you're leading a team, pursuing a dream, or overcoming a personal challenge, remember, greatness isn't reserved for the chosen few. It's built through courage, resilience, and a mindset that refuses to quit. So, will you take up the mantle and craft your own timeless success? Stay tuned for more insights and lessons from the lives of history's most extraordinary leaders.